Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the seminar research proposal. I want to introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Iqbal from the State University of Jakarta. Now, I want to tell about my presentation's research proposal with the title is The Effect of Remunerations, Organizational Culture, and International Control on the Performance of Tax Employees. Study at Jakarta Pulau Gadung Tax Service Office. This presentation will be three parts. The first part is a background of research, the second part is the literature review, and the last part is the research method. Now, let's start with the background research. The main problem is the human resources are not maximized, namely civil servant working in government institutions. This is indicated by a large number of corruptions, collusions, and nepotism behaviors that almost occur every year, resulting in low performance. The existence of corrupt behavior that occurs almost every year is certainly very unfortunate because it's one of the factors that's not optimal in tax collections in Indonesia. The 2017 Global Corruption Barometer survey released by Transparency International Indonesia placed the Directorate General Tax in fourth place with a second of 45% as the most corrupt institution in Indonesia. The role of Directorate General of Tax is increasingly important and strategic in supporting the independence of state financing. This is due to the declining role of state revenue from the oil and gas sector in the last 10 years. The role of increasing tax revenue was increasingly visible after the economic crisis, where the state budget increased dramatically because it had to cover new costs. To overcome this problem, the government must increase tax revenue. Currently, the GT plays a role in collecting revenue of more than 70% of total domestic revenue. Based on the performance report of the Director General of Tax in 2019, there was a decrease in the organizational performance value. The measurement of performance achievement is carried out by comparing the target plan and the realizations of the main performance indicator in each perspective. The taxation system will not work without the role of tax official in serving taxpayer in paying tax. The tax employee performance becomes something that needs to be improved. To be able to create employees who have high performance, the issues of compensation needs to be considered. In the tax agency, to increase the compensation is now as remunerations. According to Hasibuan, compensation is all income the form of money, direct or indirect goods received by employee as compensation for service provided to the company. The establishment of effective compensation system is an important part of human resource management, as it helps attract and retain talent jobs. Apart from remunerations, organizational culture is also the most important thing in improving employee performance. Culture can form a unique character for individuals and groups in their work activities. This unique is something that can be proud of every member of the organization, which in turn can motivate members of the organization to behave creatively, innovatively, and increase work productivity. According to Ginting et al., a conductive and pleasant organization culture can direct employee behavior towards achieving organizational goals. Another factor Another factor that can affect employee performance is internal control. With the application of internal control, the possibility of deviation is less likely, thereby increasing the performance achievement of an organization. Okay, now it's part 2, literature review. First, theory background. Attribution theory. Lubis Indesianti 2019 explained that attribution theory is a theory that explains a person behavior. Attribution theory studies the process of how a person interprets an event and study how a person interprets the reason or cause the behavior. The theory sets of the person behavior is determined by a combination of internal factor and external factors. The employee performance. According to Wirawan, defining performance is the output produced by function or indicator of a job or profession within a certain time. The level of success of performance include both quantitative and qualitative aspect. Meanwhile, according to Siswanto in Muhammad Sandi 2015, performance is an achievement achieved by a person carrying out the task and job assigned to him. Indicator of task employee performance is purpose, standard, feedback, tools and means, competency, motive, and opportunity. And then remuneration. Sophia Yulianti and Adnan 2020 explained the remuneration is reward or remuneration given to workers or employees as a result of the achievement they have given to achieve organization goals. This definition implies that the extension of remuneration is an organization cannot be ignored because it will be directly related to the achievement of goals. Low remunerations cannot be accounted for, both for humanity perspective and from an organizational survival perspective. This definition implies that the extension of remuneration in organizational cannot be ignored because it will be directly related to the achievement of goals. Indicator of remuneration is meeting the economic needs of employees, so the balance and fairness, and when advancing institutions or companies, and the last indicator is motivations. And then organizational culture. In Robbins S. Mary Cultural Translation by Sabra and Jeffrey, the definition of organization culture here implies their things, namely, first, culture is perceptions, not something that can be touched or seen physically, but employees accept and understand it through what they explain in the organization. Second, organizational culture is descriptive, that is, it deals with how members accept and impart the culture. Finally, even though individuals in organizations have different backgrounds and work at different organizational levels, they and define and articulate organization culture in the same way. This is the acceptance aspect. The indicator of organizational culture is leader behavior, putting forward the company missions, learning process, and last indicator is motivations, and then internal control. According to Zarida Wiryawan 2014, control is a process to ensure that all actual actions are by the goals or objective of the planned organizations. The definition of internal control in the narrow sense is the process performed to check the accuracy of data. Meanwhile, in a broad sense, the internal control system is a social system that has special meaning in the company. And then chapter 3, research method. This is the last part. The objective of research is the performance of tech official. This research was conducted at the Primary Tax Office, Jakarta Pulau Gadung. This research was conducted in September 2020. This research used a quantitative descriptive approach. This approach aims to explain an empirical phenomena accompanied by statistics data, characteristics, and patterns of relationship between variables. The population in the study were employees of the KP Pertama Jakarta Pulau Gadung, consisting of Eselon 3 and Eselon 4, because the population was considered capable of being able to describe the overall performance of Jakarta Pulau Gadung Tax Office. The sampling technique used a simple random sampling method, namely simple random sampling. A sampling of populations member is carried out randomly without paying attention to the levels contained in the populations. The number of samples determined by solving formula. Data analysis technique. The data method uses descriptive statistic, data quality test, classical assumption test, and the last hypothesis test. Okay, that is all of my presentation. I think thank you for your attention and bye bye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.